All right, guys, welcome back. Quick little mic check. All right, so just got back from the gym, took a quick rinse. Um, Looking at these charts, let's go back and redo our analysis. So far, we've still left this high right here, relatively equal. Now, we don't have to take that today, but that is still my interest, right? So I'm still bullish, right? We've come down, we've rebalanced this 1 hour. And we're looking at the 1 hour over here as well. We've come back, we tapped the same 1 hour, and we've shown some good displacement out of here, but it looks like it's just chopping back and forth. So let's look at the 15-minute. Let's go all the way to the daily. Yeah, I'm expecting us to at least price higher. All right, we have this level here and these relative highs and this high. All right, and then daily on ES. Same thing, we have those relative highs that are stacked pretty much with the same high here. Yeah, we don't have to take this today. We can easily just chop the rest of the day and then head down into this, going into the week, and then head higher because we do have this unmitigated daily. Yeah, okay. So we'll keep that in mind. We're looking at the 1 hour. We are coming off the 1 hour here. 4 hour looks bullish. 1 hour as well. Okay. So we had some nice momentum up, then we just straight down. Now, PM session doesn't start until another 15 minutes technically, but I decided to hop on. We can tape read it all the way through. Worst case, we don't take a trade, but this will just be another tape read session. Again, I am gearing towards these highs. Not opposed to taking shorts, but I just don't have any clear targets. I'm more bullish than I am bearish, and I don't want to switch biases just because I want to take another trade, right? So we have to make sure we follow that plan. Yeah, no, I have to. Unlike longs, I do want to see us have some form of fake move inside this inefficiency here. This 5-minute that we see here, right? 5 minutes. I hate that it doesn't have the borders. I don't know when I changed it to not having borders. I think it's better on the visuals. Here, let me just delete this 5-minute civvy, and then we'll save a new template. There we go. Now we should have this one. Nope, didn't click save. Civvy. Come on. There we go. And then we're going to delete 5-minute BTC. And then we're also going to make this a 1 hour and then just change it to 5-minute. And then same thing, save as 5-minute BTC. There we go. Now we should be able to, perfect. All right. So I'm just going to wait. Worst case, we just have a tape reading session and we can tape read for the next hour and a half or so, 2 hours. So this video might be a little long, but again, I just want to explain my thought process. This is where you learn, when you're able to tape read price. This is our only trade we've taken today. Small loss, that's fine. But right now we're aiming to see if we can take this high, and then these relative highs have my attention, right? But we need to see clear structure to the upside. Right now we're respecting bearish PD arrays. We seem to be moving upwards and then consistently just died off here. And not just off any random point. We did respect this 5-minute inefficiency here. Let me see if there's any type of entry there. I don't see anything for me per se. No, nothing at all. Right, so the way I see it, if we zoom out, we're just chopping around, consolidating, right? And we can do that because we can easily work our way down into this inefficiency on the daily, right? Now, I don't think we get there today. We can, but I do think we can see this perhaps tomorrow or the following trading day, within the next trading day or so. I can see us definitely working into here, maybe overnight, working our way down. But again, just trying to look at all possible situations and scenarios here, right? Better keep our open mind to see what we can possibly expect, so that way we're not expecting clean price action. Like today, we haven't had any really clean distribution phase, right? We've had small expansions, but it all stays within this range, right? We've already taken enough liquidity, right? And we engineered some more liquidity here with these highs, where we don't have to take anything further. We can just continue to consolidate the rest of the session and chop a lot of traders up and people that are trying to rush into the market. So that's the thing about knowing when to be on the sidelines or be more cautious rather than, ready to risk. But yeah, so right now I think it's looking more like a cautious day for sure, given that we've already taken a small loss over here. So yeah. Same thing on NQ. We're coming off the same inefficiency here. You get your 5-minute inefficiency, right? Tapped CE of it perfectly. And then we distributed lower. Here is your inverse, your gap. If you're taking this, if you're bearish, this is what it could look like here, right? And just look at this. It just doesn't look that well. I would not want to be in this short. But again, it follows structure, it follows the criteria, but doesn't mean just because it follows the criteria, we're using our bias to be able to take directional trades at a higher probability than just trades that seem good, right? So if I was bearish, potentially this would be a short I would take, but I'm not bearish. I'm leaning more bullish than I am bearish. So I'm just waiting. Same thing here on ES, right? I'd rather wait for a nice displacement, maybe some type of inverse here with a 5-minute fair value gap. And then something to target those highs, right? And it looks a lot better on ES because we are slightly lower, right? So I would like to see some form of displacement here and then our 1-minute structure to confirm that. But yeah, whenever in doubt, just zoom out and get an idea for the bigger picture here. We're just moving sideways. Pay attention to this short right here. This is why I also put a lot of these long tools and short tools on my chart, especially when I'm trying to see, like I want longs, right? So I want to see these short opportunities fail, right? But if they're respecting bearish PD arrays, then, it's just it could be a sign that I'm just off, right? And that's okay. Just wait for a little bit. Okay. If we get a nice setup, I am looking to take it on my Top Step X accounts. We have not taken a trade on there at all. But again, we just have to wait. So going back to if you guys didn't watch the other video, whoever's tuning in on this, this is a trade we took earlier. We look back and I think, yeah, we can say that the mistake here was just that it was in a premium. Our bias was correct. We are bullish, right? And I believe we were targeting, yeah. Yeah, we were targeting the same target. So I don't even know if we would have got filled on that. Yeah. Yeah, we were targeting this high that which got really close to, but so this was how the trade looked like in the morning. So either way, it would have never got hit, right? I think we were just going for a flat 1 to 2 as well. Yeah, and then our final runner would have been up into here. So yeah, if that would have worked out, it would have hit. But we always go for a base 1 to 2, and then we would have left a runner for the buy side. But unfortunately, we got taken out. And the reason for this trade, which was completely valid for me at least, was the fact that we were coming off this breaker, which is your low, high, lower, low. Right here, this up close candle is your bullish breaker. So we can see we tap back into it. We have a 5-minute fair value gap as well. And we have this 3 down close candle, 5-minute order block, which I really, really liked. I liked the reaction here. Great. And then we didn't have a clear setup there. But then we came back down into this discount wick, came back, respected the consequent encroachment of that wick, and then we started displacing higher. So I really like this trade. The only thing I was keeping in mind is that we were in a premium. So that was something to keep in mind when risking here. You're in a premium, so we can seek discount before heading higher. So, and then once we had left these highs relative to each other, and then still our ultimate target, we displaced lower. We swept all this sell side, right? We swept all this sell side, and then we started displacing higher from here. I believe on NQ we were in a 15-minute. We're still holding a 15-minute, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. It was around here. Yeah, we were holding this 15-minute here. And then we started displacing higher, right? So I'm really liking the fact that ES came lower, and I'm willing to take it on ES for the second trade. Here we go. And we get this. Beautiful. So I'm just waiting for the closure on the 5, but we never get a retracement back into here. We inverse here, and we just keep going. And these become breakaway gaps, right? So we had our second opportunity. This trade would have looked like this if we would have got filled. But we didn't get filled. Then we would have just targeted these relative highs and then left a runner to up here, but we're more than happy with this, or base 1 to 2, which would have been right there. A little bit higher, which almost lines up with these relative highs, which is perfect. However, we didn't get filled on this, which is fine. We continued to wait, and then we just had the rest of the choppy session. And as soon as I left, or no, before we left, we had just this just trickle down. I think we were like right here. When we left the last little stream. And then now we're just waiting to see what we do. Remember, we want to see a displacement out of here, creating a 5-minute gap, and then from there. So look at this short trade. Meets the criteria, but it doesn't align with our bias, so therefore we can't take it, right? We inverse, we have a gap coming out 5, right? I'm not bearish. I can't take this. So I'm waiting for exactly what we were referring to earlier, a displacement through here. Favorably inversing this gap, but a 5-minute fair value gap in here would be nice. And then I could see if we have some 1-minute structure to the upside, right? I'm still targeting these highs. I haven't left those. But yeah, so that's the thought process behind this trade, which I think was really good. For those that want to see the breaker, here's the breaker that we're coming off of. I'll put it in blue, right? We were right here at the time of this trade. This is what made me want to get into this trade. We're coming off this discount wick here. we're expecting CE, which is a 50% level. We're coming off a 5-minute, and the order block looks really, really nice. We go to the 1-minute. We've already had, this is the wick we had already, right? But I didn't like how we trickled our way up there to inverse this gap. That's why I didn't take this inverse. If we would have inverse one candle, I would have been in that either way, stop below the low. But then we displace lower. I see this as manipulation. And then we displace above this high, right? Closing above here. This creates your order block. We have a fair value gap. I'm willing to take this, right? Stop below the low and targeting our target, or 1 to 2. That's the reasoning behind that trade here. Yeah, I'm just waiting. Got 9 seconds. This is not what I want to see. I want to see a nice chunky green candle displace through, but we're not getting that, so we continue to wait. This is mediocre, not good. And if we don't take a trade today, I mean, for the rest of the day, aside from this one, it is what it is. This is good to get in some screen time and be able to forward test price to kind of see what your expectations are. Today, we didn't have any high impact red folder news, but tomorrow, I believe we do. Tomorrow, Wednesday, December 3rd, we have pre-market. 8:15 a.m. New York time. Then we also have a 10 a.m. PMI. Yeah. Friday, we have consumer sentiment. Yeah, tomorrow should be a really good day. Tomorrow should be a really good day. So that's honestly another reason why price could just be consolidating, right? Because we could be waiting for tomorrow's injection of volatility at 8:15 a.m. New York time, and then we have another red folder PMI at 10 a.m. New York time. So 7 a.m. for us and 5:15 for us. NFP. Day prior to NFP. Price action can't be efficient sometimes. So yeah, I'm honestly just gonna give this like another hour. If not, I'm just gonna call it, because yeah, these conditions, we can easily be chopping our way down. We're just chopping the rest of the day, waiting for the big news event tomorrow. But it doesn't hurt to just forward test. Okay, breed. Let's look at Ethereum, Bitcoin. Okay. I really like the, I've been posting a lot about Ethereum on my Instagram page. These are the levels I really like for Ethereum here. I have been buying Ethereum at 2,900. Been buying every time I open my investing app, $100 at a time, $50 at a time, whenever I open the app. So I do buy it pretty frequently throughout the day, especially only when it's down though, and when it's at this range here. So I did buy a little bit more, added to the position. I have taken few profits here at these relative highs, and then I've been able to reinvest those profits here. I do like this inverse on the monthly, and then we also have your fair value up on the monthly along with this breaker. It's a very similar setup to the one we lost actually on ES, right? But on Ethereum on a monthly basis. So I'm expecting, if we are going to have higher prices, it's expected for there to be a level of manipulation lower to scare a lot of people out of the market, and then for us to be able to displace higher to these higher prices. I think I posted a video on this already. Price target is 1 standard deviation, 6,834.74 cents for Ethereum. So let me put that on the chart. Here, I'll just put a horizontal line there. And then we obviously have close to the 10,000 that everybody talks about, which is the 2 standard deviation, which lines up with this last monthly price line, right? Before the move. So yeah, that's a little insight on Ethereum for me and what I'm looking at. Obviously, we can continue lower. And if they do want to take this slow, I mean, we have some liquidity here, but I do think all of this has officially been delivered. And this is typically, what you see before a big up move or a down move. But I do want to see this go up. It looks more bullish than it does bearish for me. But I do keep in mind that we have swept this buy side, which is all-time high from years ago in 21. We swept it just recently in August. And then from here, we created a rejection block here. And we've been respecting that. So this down move is expected. It's just how low is it going to go? I saw these unmitigated PD arrays here as an area of support where price can bounce higher. But if we really want to take this down lower, we can go into these lows here, right? And these levels would be a little bit crazy at the $800 level and so forth. I would still be holding my Ethereum position. I am bullish long term. Even if it wants to cause max pain all the way down here, it is what it is. But I would be buying more down here at these levels. If we do break these levels here, I'll buy some here at 1300 and I'll buy some here. I bought some here before. We would just be back at the same range because I believe the first time I bought Ethereum was around here, this range, like 3600, aiming for this. And then as soon as I bought, we went up for a little bit and then dumped. And then I just bought some more down here and I kept buying once we took these relative lows. And then I rode it all the way up here, took profits here. Obviously, my cost basis went down from like 3,800 all the way down to like around 2,200, 2,300, around there. And then I sold some more back up here at 4. Not a lot, just a portion, just took a partial pretty much. And then at the highs, I didn't sell any. I should have though, right? And then we just dumped. And right now I'm just sitting on the sidelines with some cash just buying here. So yeah, I'm expecting Ethereum to rise to these levels, the 1 standard deviation. Let's go back to the S&P and see what we're doing. Yeah, pretty disgusting. Not doing nothing. Not doing anything at all. Anyways, it's crazy how we've gone up on silver. Silver has gone up insane. Nearly $60 an ounce. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Bought silver about a year ago. A little over. It's like around here. Yeah, like early 24. Like around March, February. Yeah. Right here. Remember for my birthday, I had bought quite a bit of silver. Not a lot, but for me it was a lot. And gold at these levels, right? And I was expecting silver to come down more before heading higher, but that thing just ran, broke all-time high, and it's gone. Same thing with gold. Gold, I did buy some. I'm gonna hold on to gold for a while, but I did buy some around 24 February, right here. Yeah. Because I remember I thought this was expensive. I was like, but it's an investment for long term. I was thinking this was expensive. $2,000 an ounce. I was like, Jesus. Now it's nearly doubled. Yeah, doubled. 4,000 at peak. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I bought some gold here in February of 24. Around right here. Yeah. Do you remember paying, I think on one of them I did pay like $1,600 an ounce. So yeah, it had to be like around this area. Same time I bought silver. And then I just never bought more. I only bought so much, and then I was like, I'll wait for the ounces to come back down to like the 1,500 and then I'll buy more after we sweep this. And then I was expecting gold to actually drop dramatically to like the $1,000 level, and it never did. So just holding on to the gold I have and just running it up to see where we can go. I really don't have a price target for gold. Gold is one of those assets you just hold, right? Look at it, long term. It's always done nothing but just go higher. We do have these correctional periods, which are good buying opportunities. Every time gold has corrected, right? 700 an ounce came all the way down to 400 an ounce, and then all the way down to 293 an ounce. We're talking about an 82. Wow. And then in 2011, we had a nice rally up to 1800 an ounce that came all the way back down to 900 an ounce. Beautiful buying opportunity. Beautiful buying opportunities. And then just recently, 2020, COVID, when a lot of things go, I guess, south in the world, gold, commodities like this tend to go up. Precious metals tend to go up, right? So that's why it's kind of, yeah. And so, yeah. And then we had another buying opportunity here, which I was able to buy some around here, like I was telling you guys. But the thing just ran. Should have just full ported gold, hindsight. But yeah, so right now Ethereum, I see it as a digital currency asset of very similar to gold. I see gold like Bitcoin and then silver like Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to have the larger run than Bitcoin whenever this cycle does accelerate and we decide to go into the distribution phase, because the way I see it right now, we're just consolidating inside this range, right? We'll have some manipulation, some crazy manipulation. So I can see Ethereum going lower and then pumping higher before we get to crazy levels where those that held and bought are going to get rewarded. But could be wrong, but I do believe that. Yeah, we're just chopping it up right here. 2 p.m. starts PM session. I just don't really see us doing much here. Yeah. Are you guys holding any gold or anything like that? Drop a comment or anything if you guys are bullish on gold, silver, Ethereum, Bitcoin, any of these other assets. I think it's kind of silly not to be in these other assets. Why not? Like, be diversified. So when something isn't going really well, then you can still be invested in other assets. But then again, some people don't invest at all. Some people just prefer to trade. I think it's good to be at least diversified into multiple asset classes. Paying attention here to this sweep. We do have some level. Move sweep here. And then we still have that hourly we're coming off of. Wow, 4 hours just up and down. Inside a 4-hour BTC. Inside a 1 hour. Not looking good though on the structure. Inside this 1 hour order block here, we've really just displayed slower. Bearish order block here on the 1 hour. And then if we go to the 5, we can see that that's where we reached our threshold. You merge it over with this SIBI and this inversion. All right, but there's no setup in there for me. I don't see anything. So I can't say I would have been interested in this, and I wouldn't have since I was bullish. But it's just interesting to see where a market takes a turn. All right, and now we're looking in Q. and we've had a very similar situation, but again, we're not bearish, right? We're holding this 5 inverse, and here, no setup as well. So yeah. If you're going short in here, right here, stop above high, I just wouldn't be confident in any of that. Four hour. Yeah. 31 minutes so far. Yeah, this is incredibly slow. I'm just gonna set an alert here. But more than likely, I'm just gonna call it. But I'll set an alert here if we do get any form of displacement above this high. All right. So this is the plan. I'm just gonna set an alert and get it off the charts. I want to see us either one of the indices take this low and then have that as an SMT and then displace higher. And then maybe at 11, 2 p.m., we'll have that distribution phase to go for these highs. But if we do, and I get an alert, then I'll just start back on another video. But for right now, this is, I don't want to make this video too long because I could just be waiting here for another hour and then nothing happens and we just get a bunch of consolidation. I'm gonna go work on some other stuff instead while I wait. And then once I get an alert on my phone, then if we can possibly hop back on the charts and then tape read or potentially take a trade. So yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully some of the stuff was insightful that we shared on other currencies and whatnot, and my overall 2 cents on today. Remember, tomorrow we are going to be having bigger news drivers, so understand that this price can be like this because of the high impact news coming up ahead. So just be patient, don't rush into things. Again, this is the only trade we took today. Was taken on the live account, so, and here is the reasoning why. So watch the other video if you want to get the full live trade and everything. It is posted on there. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or anything like that about currencies or anything, feel free to drop it. Follow Just Another Transaction, and I'll see you guys on the next vid.